Friends, I'm sure this has happened to all of you at some point. The setup on the chart looks absolutely clear. Everything feels perfect. But somehow, you either miss the trade or end up making a mistake right after entering. And then slowly, the blame game begins. Sometimes we blame the strategy, sometimes the market, and sometimes just bad luck. But many times, the real problem isn't any of those things. The real problem is low mental energy. Because when your mind is exhausted, your focus starts getting weaker, your patience disappears, and your discipline slowly begins to break down, and then you start making mistakes that you normally would never make. Maybe that's the reason why so many traders struggle to become consistent, even after gaining knowledge and experience. And that's exactly what today's lesson is about. In this chapter, Dr. Steenbarger explains that trading is not just a game of strategy. It's also a game of mental energy. And once you learn how to manage your energy properly, your focus, execution, and decision-making can completely change. So let's begin today's incredibly powerful lesson. Friends, just imagine this for a moment. You didn't sleep properly all night, and the next morning, you have a very important meeting at work. You're fully prepared, you know everything. But the moment it's your turn to speak, you start hesitating, you get confused. And even simple things begin to go wrong. Why does that happen? Because at that moment the problem isn't your knowledge. The real problem is a tired mind. And the exact same thing happens in trading too. Imagine this. You spot an amazing setup. The RSI is giving confirmation. Volume is supporting the move. Everything looks perfectly in your favor. But still, you either miss the trade or jump into an entry too quickly and get stopped out. And later you sit there thinking, how did I make such a stupid mistake? But many times, that mistake isn't caused by a lack of skill. It's caused by low mental energy. Friends, in many ways we are just like a laptop. If the battery isn't charged, it doesn't matter how powerful the system is. Eventually it starts lagging, and sooner or later it crashes. The same thing happens with our brain. Dr. Steenbarger explains that our mind also has a kind of mental battery, and when we constantly expose ourselves to stress, screens and non-stop decision-making without proper recovery, that battery slowly starts draining. And the direct impact of that begins to show up in our trading. We start missing good opportunities, ignoring important information, and sometimes even breaking our own trading plan. Then slowly our habits begin to change too. We become irritated for no reason, small things start frustrating us, negative thinking increases, and this is the phase where people slowly fall back into the same old destructive trading patterns again. Dr. Brett shares another very important idea. He divides trading into two categories: active trading and passive trading. An active trader is someone who takes every trade with awareness and intention. They already know beforehand where to enter, where to hold, where to book profits, and where to cut losses. In other words, their decisions come from clarity, not from emotions. But the real problem begins when the mind becomes tired, because in that state, we stop being active traders and slowly become passive traders. We stop leading the market and start chasing it instead. We stop planning and simply react to whatever's happening. Sometimes we enter because of FOMO. Sometimes we panic and exit too early. And many times, we take impulsive trades that don't even have a solid reason behind them. And that's exactly why a tired mind often causes the biggest losses. Dr. Brett says that good trading is not just profitable trading. Good trading is intentional trading. It means taking every step with complete awareness and clarity. And for that, you need a fresh mind, an energetic body, and a focused mindset. So the next time you sit in front of the charts, ask yourself one simple question: am I truly mentally ready to trade today? Because many times, the problem is not the market, the problem is our mental state. Dr. Brett further explains that when the body and mind become exhausted, the first things we stop doing are often the exact things that make someone a good trader. We stop doing proper research, we stop seriously analyzing risk to reward, and we start taking trades just by looking at chart patterns, without even asking ourselves whether there's a real edge behind the trade or not. And slowly we become emotionally reactive, chasing highs, panicking at lows, or mechanically taking trades without understanding the bigger market context. Like spotting a weak-looking stock and instantly shorting it, without realizing that the overall market is actually strongly bullish. Dr. Brett Steenbarger says that if you want to improve your trading performance consistently over the long term, then learning strategy alone is not enough. You also need to manage your energy just as seriously, because a tired mind can never make consistently good decisions. He explains that the first thing you should focus on is sleep. Getting a few hours of sleep is not enough. What truly matters is quality sleep. If your sleep gets interrupted frequently, or your body doesn't get proper rest, your brain never fully recharges overnight. And the impact of that shows up directly the next morning in your focus, patience, and decision making. After that, he talks about eating habits. Whatever we eat has a direct impact on our mental performance. Constant spikes and crashes in blood sugar can destroy concentration. Eating too much sugar or relying heavily on caffeine may make you feel energetic for a short time. But after a while, those same things can leave you mentally exhausted and easily irritated. Dr. Brett also explains that your lifestyle and mental health deeply affect your trading. If you stay awake late at night, follow an unhealthy routine, or constantly live under stress, then the next morning your mind won't feel mentally sharp enough for trading. And many times, people who maintain discipline in their personal life naturally show the same balance and control in their trading. He also emphasizes the importance of physical activity. If you spend the entire day sitting in front of screens, slowly both your physical and mental energy begin to drain. But simple things like daily walks, stretching, light exercise, or yoga can make your mind feel far fresher and more focused. He further says that continuously staring at charts for hours without breaks isn't healthy either. No human being can maintain the same level of focus endlessly. That's why during slow market conditions, taking small breaks is extremely important. It refreshes your mind, and when a real opportunity finally appears, you're able to stay more alert and make much better decisions. So always remember this: trading is not just a game of skill, it is also a game of energy management. When both your mind and body stay recharged, that's when you can truly read the market clearly, stay disciplined, and make consistently better trading decisions. Friends, trading is not a 100-meter race. It's a marathon. And the traders who truly survive and succeed in this journey are the ones who can stay mentally and emotionally balanced for the long run. They don't burn themselves out by running too fast. And they don't become so slow that they start missing opportunities completely. Dr. Brett Steenbarger shares a very powerful line: we prepare our trades, but we often fail to prepare ourselves for trading. Think about that for a moment. We prepare the charts, mark our levels, check indicators, but the one thing that matters the most, our own mental preparation, is often completely ignored. Now honestly ask yourself, if there is no discipline in your personal life, if your sleep is poor, if you're not eating properly, not taking breaks, and your mind constantly feels exhausted, then how can you expect discipline in trading? In that condition, the brain slowly shifts into passive mode, and then a person stops trading with understanding. They simply start clicking buttons mechanically. No clear planning, no deep thinking, just reaction after reaction. Dr. Brett explains another interesting idea. Our brain and body work very much like a laptop battery. If you constantly push yourself in a tired state, without properly recharging, then slowly your mental battery starts weakening. He compares this to something called the memory effect, meaning when you repeatedly operate in a low energy state, your mind slowly adapts to that exhaustion, and over time even your natural energy capacity starts decreasing. And eventually there comes a point where maintaining focus becomes difficult. Small things start irritating you, decision making becomes slower, and trading mistakes begin increasing. That's why if you truly want to become a professional trader, don't just train your charts, train yourself too. Keep both your mind and body recharged. Regularly analyze your trades and become intentional in trading, not emotional. Because if you don't have energy, you won't have focus. And when focus disappears, even the best trading plan remains nothing more than an idea written in a notebook. You'll see the setup on the screen, but you won't be able to execute it properly. So always remember this: your energy, your focus, your decision making, and your trading results are all deeply connected with each other. Dr. Brett Steenbarger reminds us of another very important truth. He says that until you personally feel this connection for yourself, you'll never truly change your lifestyle. But the day you genuinely realize that your energy controls your trading performance, a lot of things will automatically start changing. You'll begin sleeping on time, taking care of your eating habits, going for walks, keeping your body active, and building a simple but stable daily routine. And the most interesting part is this. Slowly, even that guilt you feel when stepping away from the screen starts disappearing. Because then you begin to understand that opportunities don't depend only on market movement. They also depend on whether, when the opportunity finally appears, you are mentally and physically ready to execute it. The market gives new opportunities every single day, but the real question is, are you ready for those opportunities every day? And if the answer is no, then maybe it's time to start preparing yourself. Because a tired trader slowly becomes a weak decision maker. Just think about it. Have you ever felt that even after staring at charts the entire day, there's still a strange restlessness inside you? And many times that restlessness is not caused by the market. It comes from the disconnect that slowly starts building in our personal life. Dr. Steenbarger says that sometimes, even a small weekend trip, or spending just a couple of joyful hours with family, can recharge you from within far more than an entire day spent watching charts. Because if your personal life is filled with constant stress and exhaustion, then in trading too you won't be able to perform at your peak for very long. Dr. Brett also shares another simple yet powerful insight. Life doesn't need to be perfectly balanced all the time. But when deep inside you start feeling that things are becoming imbalanced, your energy, your focus and your optimism all slowly begin to fall. That's why it's important not only to recharge yourself but also to recharge your relationships. Because success in trading doesn't come only from charts and setups. It flows through your entire lifestyle. So the next time you sit in front of the charts, take a moment to remember the people who are part of your life. Because many times, that's where the real energy comes from. So friends, today's lesson teaches us one very important thing. In trading, having a strategy alone is not enough. If your mind is tired, your body is exhausted, and your life feels completely unbalanced, then even the best setup won't be able to give you consistent results. Because in the end, the traders who survive in the market for the long run are the ones who can stay mentally and emotionally stable. So don't just improve your charts. Work on your lifestyle, your energy and your mental clarity too. And trust me, when your energy starts improving, your focus, patience, discipline and even your trading decisions begin improving automatically. If you found today's lesson valuable, make sure to like the video so I know you're enjoying these trading psychology lessons. And if you truly want to build consistency, emotional control and a professional trading mindset, then subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon as well. I'll continue bringing you practical lessons from powerful books like The Daily Trading Coach in simple and easy to understand language. I'll see you in the next lesson. Till then, stay disciplined, stay focused and trade with the right energy.